How good's this sound? So Bob's all... Hey guys, this is my second take because dog, right, nearly broke down the door, wanted to get in the shed. So I closed the door just to keep the noise down. Then she's whinging, just whinging that. I don't know if you guys have owned a staffy or know someone's got a staffy. It is the most horrible sound ever. So anyway, as you can see, getting back on track, I'm standing in front of Bob. We're going to get back into Bob today. And I was thinking to myself, it's been a while, man. Like it says about a month, but it feels like a lot longer. And I do my maths, so it's about one kebab, 1.5 kebabs a week. So it feels like it's been, it says it's only been 4 or 5 kebabs, but it feels like about eight or 10. So anyway, we're going to get back on this. And I just thought, how do you stay focused? And this is a question, that a lot of guys you ask. How do you stay focused on the project? That it's a lot of work. You're pouring 80, 100, 120, 140 hours into a project. How do you stay focused and keep on the plan? I don't know. Because I've been busy, been doing customer jobs, other stuff. My van was overheating, had to fix that. Like there's a whole heap of stuff going on. So now that I've caught up, I'm going to get back in the Bob. And I think the main thing, and I found over the years, is when you have something that starts and runs, it keeps you motivated. Also, I'll move that away for a sec. See the Repsol? So I picked up an MC22 Repsol, really, really cheap, but it's got a major issue. So I've ordered parts for it. So when the parts arrive, I think I'll do a video, let you know if you're interested or not. So let's do a walk around and see where Bob's up to and go from there. Now, you can see it's been a while, and just all the bench, it just gets stuff dumped on her. There's that Repsol I talked about earlier. So, there's a can of, what's this stuff? Oh, I was looking for that. Contact cleaner, there's a screwdriver. There's just stuff all over the bench. So my first thing is I'm going to clean up this bench and start afresh. Double-sided tape, there's a boot latch thing. So it's just covered in dust. Still looks amazing though. So the main thing is, let's get this wiring on, get the dash on, feed the wiring, radiator, connect everything up and go from there. All right, so we've got the dash here. So I'm going to pull this apart and give it a real good clean. It's the only way to do it. Now, I was actually going to swap out this dash because there's two mounts. There's one here, or locators, one there and one here. It's just about to snap where my thumb is. They're about to break. So I found this aftermarket one I had. I thought, beautiful, I'll just swap this around. But then I realised it's missing the one of these things up here. So I thought, I'll just stick with genuine. I'll save that for another day. I'll be able to DEFCON those lugs back on, and that'll be solid as. So yeah, I'm just going to pull this harness off, pull it apart. The worst job of this. All right, pull this dash apart. In here, there's a tiny Phillips head screw, and you can see there's already stuff in there. There's some sort of critter in there. So you've got to try to pick out the cross of the Phillips head. So I've got an arsenal of tools here to get to it because it's going to be a mission. So I've got a couple of different picks, and I've even got a phone Phillips head, and I've got a couple of these jeweler's screwdriver. And I wear glasses normally, and then these are like 3 times magnification. I put these over my other glasses, so I've got double glasses on, so I can see inside there. It's a mission. I won't film it because it just takes too long, but wish me luck. I got the screw out. I feel like a dead set champion. See the Phillips head on the screw, and it's tiny. It's like a M2 or maybe M3, I don't know. So what happens, it gets dirt and rust in the groove for the Phillips head screwdriver to go in there, so you can't actually get it in there. So you've got to pick it out. I'll do a bit more picking to get that all nice and dandy, and then when I put it back in, I'll spray a bit of WD-40 in there just to stop it from rusting up again. So yeah, that's it. And then this part just pulls out. That's the hardest part of the dash. Now I'll just zip off the rest, take the wiring off and go from there. Okay, now we've got that trip meter knob removed, we can start pulling apart the dash. Now I can't stress how important it is not to lose that screw because you're not going to get one easy. So I've just stuck it on the end of my magnet. I know it's seen better days, so I can't lose it. I've cleaned it out the best I can, but yeah, don't lose it. So now I'm going to take this wiring harness off, give that a good clean as well. I've taken photos. Always take a photo when you pull this apart so you remember how it all goes. Even me being, the supposedly expert on these things, I still take photos because you can forget. It's too easy. It's very easy to forget, I should say. Oh, it's got a bulb missing too. All right, let's pull this apart. So I've got all the gauges out. Now I'm just going to show you this in the speedo. As you know, these things have a 180 kilometre per hour restrictor. So I'm not sure, I'll point it out so you can see it. So when you look inside here, there's a little disc here, right? So as you go around and just past that disc, I'm not sure if you can see it, there's two little pickups here. So when it spins around, I've got to be careful not to touch the actual dash. It spins around, that disc, come on, probably better on this side. Oh no, it's worse. So disc comes, oh, here you go. You can see that disc coming around there. All right, I'm going to do this. All right, here's your disc here. It comes around and just deep inside there, it contacts, it breaks, it's breaking the signal between those two, like reed sensors, I guess, little pickup. So technically, if you cut that away, don't know how you do that, it's going to be pretty hard. If you cut that away or break that away, it's actually tin. That would stop it from being a speed restrictor, or you can just put a resistor in there. Now, one word of advice, try not to touch the face of this. I know for whatever reason, you're going to chase your trail trying to keep it clean. I've done it before and now I've learned you don't touch it. Just don't touch it at all. So I'm very careful not to touch it because you put a fingerprint on there, oil gets on that plastic and yeah. No, just don't touch it. All right, I'm going to clean these parts up. And the other fun fact is I've worked out I don't think I can actually screw from the inside. So I'm going to have to give this a good clean up, let it dry, glue it from the outside, put it back together, and that's it. So I've got the gauges, all the gauges back in and was careful not to touch them. Oh, I can see one mark there. Oh my gosh, see what happens? You just touch it a little bit and you get this, that's going to kill me. Oh, actually, I shouldn't see that by the time. No, I should. So I was able to glue this lug on, right, because it's only sort of snapped and I could swing it back. But this one here didn't want to stick. Yeah, there you go. So I've actually put a screw on the tab that snapped off, cut the end off and sharpen a bit. So, and I've also got a screw in the back of the dash. So I'll screw that in, put some glue on it, and that'll give it great support. There you go. I've screwed the dash back together. Just be mindful when you put the screws back in, always start off backwards so it finds the same thread in plastic. Because a couple of these threads have been split because people were just getting into it. So here's that broken tab with that screw repair with a bit of super glue. So that's solid now. I've got glue, so it's super glue is holding the plastic together. I've got the screw holding the strength of it, so that's all good to go. My next job is there's a tiny little mark here on the plastic here. Where is it? There it is, a little mark just on that 20 mark. So I'm going to try to buff that out. There you go. Look at that, just a little bit of a quick buff. And it looks $1,000,000. So it's worth spending a bit of time on the dash because it is the centerpiece of the cockpit. So when you sit in the bike looking at it, it really stands out. That's my little buffer there I use, a little Milwaukee one. If you haven't got one, you can do this sort of stuff, get one. All right, I'm going to put this cable back on, put this harness back on. I won't push all the wires back in right now, the lights, because I want to make sure they work before I hook it all up. Right. Now I'm just installing the wiring harness into Bob here. See this little, you see that there? It slides and there's a little tiny dimple here, actually, exactly like this, right? But you just can't see, it's a bit hard to film. So I always like to start off with that first. Just sits on there, and there should be, from factory, a white cable tie, just goes around there. I'll show you that in a sec. So I like to put that one in first, then start off with one of these bad boys. There's a couple of different sizes, I think. There's a bigger one that goes on the left-hand radiator bracket, and then this size, two sizes. So that from memory. There you go. There's the slot I was talking about. So we get that in there. It doesn't really matter. So that goes in. Well, before I get too carried away, let's got to feed this part of the harness up here. This one goes in there. This is for your tail light and your blinkers. There's one for the brake light. Yeah. Now there's a tab just there. There's one there. That's it. That's for your tail light. Sit that in there for now. Now this one here. It goes away actually. Doesn't really matter. I'll go this way. Actually. There you go. And that swings around for your eggs. I've got that one there, that one there. Here's these puppies. These two just slip under there and they tuck in over this side. So you've got your so your blinker relay, that's for your stator and that's for your side stand. Obviously CDI and your starter relay. I don't have the wire for the starter motor on. Probably should hook that up. That won't start. That's your wire for your starter motor for your relay. Got to find that bolt now. Going to pop this side fairing off here. I put it up for colour. You might remember a while ago I put up for colour to keep you motivated. Well, it didn't really work. So this way I can keep going with this harness on this side. So there's a little, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. Under here there's a little, where my finger is. No, it's too dark. So it's just clips under there. Now, where is my... So there's 3 cables that come along this left-hand side of the engine, and it just where my finger is there. If you can see it. Oh no, you can't. You won't be able to see it. You can hear it, but you can't see it. There's a bracket there. Now there's a reason why I leave this bolt loose. You won't be able to lift up the tray just a bit to get these wires underneath. So you've got your perf wire that bolts to the starter mode mountain bolt. This is for your side stand. This one goes in first. Get right, side stand. Next I'd normally go with the stator, but I need to sort out these wires. This is lengthened and added, and so I've got to sort that out. And then that is your perf wire for the battery. Sits up there. There you go, just like that. Now this is your stator wire. So I might do the stator wire first. I'll do that in a second. Oh, I've got to mount this bracket. This bracket sits here like that. You can see there, the harness sits in there, and then you've got allocation for 2 wires. That's for one's for the neutral and one's for the oil pressure. So it just sits in there, and there's a special bolt. It's like a 10mm head, but see it's got a little locator. Now, because I've got the, remember I start off this one on the other side here, that's located in, oh it's not, come out, you bugger, get in there. Oh, now you can see a bit better from this angle. Move. There you go, clicked in now. So now that's located, I can work my way back to here. Yeah, here, this is the wire from the thermostat, just comes off the harness here. Click that in. These two, I've got to find the wires for them. They're under there. One's the oil pressure, which is the blue wire. The green is neutral. Now it's from the switch, it's just a blue, and from the bike itself it's a blue-red, so don't panic, that's how it is. There's that one. You kind of just flop around. There is a thing to time up, I'll show that in a second. And this one, neutral light. Now the one on the left is the, just from here. This is the pickup coil. This is the split coupling. So you slip it around the harness and just on the thermostat bracket, and then there you go, it's in. That's it. Oh, by the way, this is your clutch diode. So that's how it is from factory. It's taped into the harness, but it does have a connector there. So they do all sorts of weird things. You can actually buy them. Oma sells them now at Exalt, which is great. Thank you, Oma. So that part of the harness done. This part is pretty much done. There's typically a mount here, which I don't seem to have. I'm going to try to find it. And the harness sits there, and all your connectors into here. And then these, so you got kill switch sits under there. Oh, I've got to hook up this brake switch. Kill switch, it goes under the ignition. And these three wires, well, there's ignition switch and then left-hand switch block. These three will go onto, where's my other slide bang, and it likes to point down, so that way. Right, so all right, now I connect up this brake light switch before I forget. So my next plan of attack here would be, I'll fit the coils up, because the coils holds the harness in place. Oh, there's the coils back in. So this wire, green earth wire, that's where it goes. I've seen all different interpretations. That's from the harness. Now it's a bit hard to see, but there's a allocation on the coils itself for the wiring harness, and there's the wires. That's it. So coils on the MC22, from left to right, it goes. So coil 1 will feed cylinder 2, 3. Coil 2 will feed cylinder 1 and 4. And the MC19 is backwards, just to confuse you. So, but we're talking MC22s at the moment. So now I can do the radiator hose, put the carbies back on, radiator, fill it up, and yeah, just on the positive side of the battery. So you've got your starter relay. There's your main 30 amp fuse. No, you can't see it in the shot, doesn't matter. So this plug here gives a lot of people issues with starting, so that just clips on. You can normally tell if you can't, you've got to square these two tabs to get it off. If you have trouble getting this off, there's a bit of corrosion and causing issues. And here's your rear brake light switch just here to the side. Now that's on, that's on. I can actually find my CDI unit, plug that in. Time to connect the battery, and then I can start make connections up underneath the dash. There's a little trick in the trade. You cut off a little bit of cable tie and you stick it underneath the nuts in the batteries, because especially on the MC22s, if you undo the battery with the side stand down, this nut on the earth side falls straight out and down and never land. Not sure if you can see that, but there's a little bit of plastic cable tie and holding that nut in place. As you know, always start and finish with the earth, because if I accidentally touch somewhere on the screwdriver, it's not going to create sparks and cause damage. So yeah, that could be impossible but if I did that, nothing's going to happen because it's already earth. But if I did that, yeah, sparks will fly. So that's connected. This is all done. That's all done. Now I'm going to hook up the tail light. Next job is to hook up all these wires. I've seen all different interpretations. So the MC22, the harness comes along here, and this hooks into your fake air duct, roughly about there, so it sits along there. And that harness just sits in there, and it tucks in just like that. And obviously, I've got to put a clip in here. So I like to always start off with the ignition switch, because that's the thickest wire. Those two connectors, you got them. And then it's a matter of just checking out what goes next. Should be the dash. I've left all the wires, and I mean, so all the lights hanging out of the dash, because I want to test it all. So here's my two. So I've got to go to the shop soon, bike shop. So if I need some bulbs, I do carry a large range of bulbs, but sometimes it's not enough. So as I turn the ignition on and see if things work, ones I'm looking for at the moment would be, come on, yeah, neutral light and oil light. Hoi! That's pretty, isn't it? So here's Bob's new aftermarket radiator. Where I can, I like to use the OEM one, but the OEM one had a bit of blockage. I could see, you could look down in here, the old one had a blockage. Oh, while I'm here, so just in here, just always check with these aftermarket ones that this is all clear. I made a mistake, I got it down here actually. So I put this bike on, this radiator on, I didn't notice, so there's a lot of solder just here. You see that? I'll move it a bit more. See that? That's a chunk of solder. When I was filling this up, I did see something there, but my brain just didn't register quick enough. I thought it was just water sitting there when I was topping it up. So what happened, when I put the cap on there, it wasn't sealing perfectly, and it was just on an angle a bit. And it started leaking. I changed the cap thinking I was just a faulty cap. And then bike seemed fine, sold it, and it blew a head gasket. So I replaced the head gasket, so that cost me. The other thing to note too, with these aftermarket radiators, so the gap, yeah, I'll show you on the other one, it's easier. So the brackets that hold the fan on, you can see this L bracket, it's not level with the front of the radiator, so when you go to screw the fan on, you see this one's been bent over, and this one here. So what I do to fix that, oh yeah, and also after I fixed the yeah, I got the bike back after he crashed it. That's why this is all mangled, this one. Scrapyard now. So I'll actually stick a washer just under there. You can see that washer there, just to step it out a bit so you're not pulling that bracket over. Funny enough, these brackets here, I didn't have to drill them out, where this one here, the old one, they were so far out, I had to get my, where's the cap? I had to get my mill thing out and like elongate the holes to get them. This radiator on there. Now, stick this on. These tabs can be a bit of a punish. You can see this one here is a bit on the end. We had to replace the top radiator hose on this bike because it was a bit swelly, and the swelly is not good. Where is my, oh, here it is. I'll show you guys. I kept it out to show you guys this is what to check out for. Oh, where's my, all right, so this is, right, so this is your top radiator hose. So right, there you go. It sits like that. That part there goes in a thermostat, and just under here, it's you can actually see it. See, it's quite swollen. And if I run my finger in there, you can feel in between the, you can see it and feel it, like she's ready to pop. So I had a good spare one. I chucked it in there. Now, before you guys ask me, this question asked a lot, and I'll answer it simply yes and no. So I get the question all the time, do you have? Are you willing to sell? I'm not a wrecker. I've got heaps of spare parts. I've been doing these bikes for 25, 30 years. So I've got, because you know how it's like, you buy a project bike and then they go, oh yeah, since you're buying the bike, take this. So what is it? Oh, just some spares I got for the bike. And so you end up with copious amounts of spare parts. Right, now I'm going to get my camera so I can see what you guys see. So I'm going to put a bit of foam, actually from the radiator box, over the guard. This is a nice painted guard. It's a bit dirty, but it's painted. I don't want to repaint it. So this bracket here, this bracket here, do not put a bolt on there. It does not have a bolt. The MC19 has bolts both sides. MC22 doesn't. Do not put a bolt there. It makes life harder when you go to take plugs out for no reason. You don't need a bolt there. So we slip that in there. Now here's the tricky bit. Just drop that. Almost getting caught up on the, there we go. So your clutch cable, can you see that? Clutch cable is in behind the bracket. And then all this other stuff can sort itself out. So I'm just holding the clutch bracket cable out of the way. Now I've just slipped that side on. Now, that's pretty easy. Normally these must have been it's not bad. I have no idea where I got this radiator from, so don't ask me where I get it from, because I've got no clue. I just get them sometimes and go, oh yeah, that's a good price. Get two and I just put them on the shelf and then completely forget where I get them from. And then, oh yeah, don't forget to connect that. So I'm just going to do the worst part of fitting a aftermarket radiator, is getting this overflow hose on, because it's like five sizes too big. So I've lubed up the, better put more on there. Lube up the spigot. Get this nice and hot. I've tried boiling water, but heat gun works the best. You get it to it's almost melted. And make sure you've got no cuts and splits in it. If you've got a cut and split in the end, as soon as you put pressure on it, and you, oh, it's smoking. Whoosh, it's hot. Funny thing that. Smell burning rubber. Now, those who are eagle-eyed will notice I've ditched the clamp, because once this gets on there, that's it. She ain't coming off in a hurry. Yeah, see that bracket? Man, it's their problem, these radiators. They're just a little bit wrong in every way. So this radiator bracket is just fouling on. Got to put coolant in this now and put the carbies in, and she should be firing up. Here we go. We'll just move that bracket a smidgen. I just got off the phone to a gentleman by the name of Steve. He's coming here on Friday to look at Bob. Oop. So that's exciting. He's very keen to purchase this particular restoration. It'll be put on Club Rego, so it won't need any Rego, which is great. All right, so that's on now. If I want to, and I may even put a tiny cable tie on there, because that's not going to go nowhere. Now, next fun part, I've got to climb up here and get these carbies on. Fill up. Now, these take about 1.5 litres. So the trick to bleeding these things, so and this is how the water pump removed, cleaned, new gasket. It's had a new thermostat. Flushed the block out too. So this will take all of the 1.5 litres that it should have. Now the trick is, these are hard to bleed. What I'll normally do is I'll have to, once I get it started and running, I'll move it on the side stand, and that helps get bubbles out and get a few heat cycles, a few startups. And then you take it off the side stand and lean it further over on the left hand side, and you'll see the air come up then. All right, get some more. Right, I'm going to put these cables back on. So I always start with the top cable, which is the pull cable. Get it long as you can. So get that throttle to the front. Now, because you got, so the carbies just sit there, you don't have to fight it. Now I get this cable down, right down there. You know, spin it around. Right, I'll sit that in there. Now I get this bottom cable in. You see all this? Judiciary. Now, because there's no adjustment on the bottom cable, push cable, tighten that one up first, then you can adjust it with the pull cable. That's how you're supposed to do it. Right, so then I've still got a fair bit of adjustment. I can smell petrol. These have still got some petrol in them. Oh, that doesn't smell too good. So what I'll do in this case, I'll get some fresh fuel from the servo. Get some fresh fuel from the servo. Got to do it in Aussie slang. That's important. That bracket's slightly bent, so that cable, it dips down a bit, and you see. So see the angle of that compared to that. That's a bit better. So we're pulling straight down and pushing straight down. I'll adjust that free play up here, the fine adjustment. Now I can rotate these slightly. I'll get this choke cable on. And eagle eyes will see I've still got my bungs on the carburetor or inlet manifold ports, just so nothing falls down there in the meantime, because you don't. I saw a post about a guy checking his valve clearances on the engine sitting around, and he said, oh, and you can see the gap. He goes, oh, this gap is way too big. Is this normal? And I didn't make a comment because other people jumped in and chimed in and saying, yeah, it's not normal. And I was like, I bet you it's that mode has sat with nothing over the intake port, or when the carbies got removed, it had old hard rubbers and it's fallen down and it's stuck underneath the valve holding it open. I've had it heaps of times on bikes I'm working on, or even carbon. Carbon is a big thing. Now just going to literally spray a bit of penetrine inox. I'm not sponsored by Inox, but I love the stuff because it's lanolin based. I can use it on cables, on brake seals, on everything. It doesn't swell rubber. It's one-stop shop, so I don't have to sit there going, oh, is it light blue, is it dark blue? Just light blue for everything. Job done. Got to feed that cable under there. And this is where the gymnastics comes in. So you're going to make sure there's a bit going on here actually. Got to sort this out. It's a bit messy. So you've got to make sure this cable is there. Here we go. Because it can get hung up. Now I'm looking down. I'm lining up these. Come on. There you go. Done. When the rubbers are new, you know what you're doing. The other thing too, it's good I don't have a H-frame on there, because the cables get caught up in the H-frame and stop you from doing what you got to do. Now, screwdriver time. Where is mine? That one. And torch. Torch. You actually can, I've done it. I've got to adjust that cable now, clutch cable. You can actually take the carbies off without taking the fairings off. I've done it. Obviously, tank airbox off. It's a bit tricky. You need a long screwdriver like this, and you need to get through the slot in the fairing and here. I've done it heaps of times, especially because you don't want to take fairings off and on, because that's where things get damaged and broken. Now, it's a bit hard to see, but I've just double-checked the choke as you need to. It's always hard to work out. Does it go around there or not? Around there's too tight. So if the choke pushed in, I don't have enough free play. So I'm just going to back this screw off. It was okay before I put the carbies down. This is why you need to double-check it. As soon as I put the carbies down, it got too tight. So what will happen is that choke will stay slightly open. Man. Don't know my own strength. Can't undo it. All right, now that's better. Just use a little stubby screwdriver. I'm not sure you can see it now. I've got a gap now. So when I pull the choke, yeah, it moves. Goes full choke, and then I'll turn it off. You kind of want it sitting roughly in the middle. So that's good now. Put this dubulator, where is it? I need to find it. I hope I didn't put on another bite. Did I? Yeah, found it. New air filter in it. This is what they call a sub filter. For people who are just sort of jumping on this page and haven't heard me talk about this before. So basically when these vacuum boys, diaphragms slide up and down, it's connected to this tube here. So as it comes up, it pushes air out here, and then when it comes back down, it sucks air back through there, just like connected to atmospheric pressure. So Honda and the engineers have worked out exactly what sort of micron filters it needs to compensate for the spring and that sort of stuff. Length of the tube, diameter of the tube, all that sort of nerdy stuff. So if you go sticking, most of them are perished and gone, and if you just leave nothing in there, it's going to go up too quick. If you put something in there that's too thick, it's going to slow it down. There was a guy who put something really thick in there and then was trying to work out why his bike wouldn't rev. So that, believe it or not, that helps control the rate of opening and closing. And with that, the needle, the tape of the needle, and affects the fueling and that sort of stuff. So quite a little insignificant part, but very, very crucial anyway. So now I'm going to get some fuel. So we got some fuel, compressor's on. I started before, so it's just getting a bit of smoke up from the exhaust being painted. Not very happy, but put it on this. Very violent. Oh, that sounds starting to sound a bit better. Get a few more heat cycles in it. Check your oil, check the coolant, check all those things. Put the airbox back on there. Check the balance again. Curious what's that's on. Sounds just a bit off. Okay. Just on the 2. Charging nicely. Lights are on. There you go. That's starting really good. Because it's been sitting around for a little bit, I think it just needed a bit of a probably old fuel caught up in the carbies. Ring's a bit stuck. There we go, you got that. Got that, run. Like driving a little bit fast. There we go. There we go. Whoop. How good's this sound? So Bob's all running again. All the checks out. So we've got to do a few heat cycles now just to get the paint on the headers to cure up nice and properly. Those gorgeous engine covers all painted up. New Chinese radiator. Yeah, the fork lowers painted and the disc and wheels. It just looks like a brand new bike. Oh, headlights. So now it's about putting all the fairings on. Got to find some rear pillion pegs. Got some. Have a go at the idle. So good. So that's it for this video. So it's just getting it all back together. And when the bike looks this good without any fairings on, it's going to look spectacular with the fairings on there. So I see so many people, they just think, you know, just whacking fairings on an old bike, it's going to, yeah, it will look great from a distance. But when you got brackets are bent and stays are all out of shape, you get a closer look and it's a mess, a red hot mess. So that's it, guys. Next video will be just tricks doing the fairings, probably the tank. I've got to get the tank ready tomorrow. What's today, Monday? So I've got 5 days to get this back together. I've got someone looking at it on Friday. So, yeah, wish me luck. See you guys.